Hello everyone and welcome back to the CO2 Rundown. I'm Chad Owens. Happy Hump Day Wednesday. Midweek. We're almost there. Look, I can't stress it enough. This is Christmas month. Holidays are right around the corner. And we all can use a little extra cash. Don't forget to turn in your Football Fever ballots at Select Long's Drugs. $500 cash weekly up for grabs. If you don't know what Football Fever is, it's our weekly contest in the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. It's for the NFL season. You just simply pick up your Football Fever ballot in the newspaper, fill out who you think is going to win for that week, turn it in to Select Long's Drugs, and sit and wait. You could be a winner of $500 cash. At the end of the season, we're gonna be doing $1,000 cash, so you don't wanna miss out. And again, thank you to our sponsors for making Football Fever possible. Mercedes-Benz of Honolulu, Windows Hawaii, Hawaiian Telecom, and Long's Drugs, We are ready to roll. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive on in to the CO2 Rundown. All right, we're gonna recap this Ravens-Dallas game, which, again, got scheduled to be played yesterday because of COVID. All games getting postponed, pushed back, moved around. The NFL is doing their best to manage this. But anyway, here's what happened. The Ravens just beat up on the Cowboys on the ground, especially. They won 34-17. Lamar Jackson, who is back off the COVID-19 list, rushed for 94 of the Ravens' 294 yards, and he also had a touchdown. This is, again, like I said, Lamar Jackson's first game back in weeks since being on the COVID-19 list. And look, he quoted, I still can't really smell or taste anything, but I'm good. Well, let me tell you this, man. He definitely didn't lose his taste of making plays and smelling that end zone because he balled against the Ravens. And an unfortunate turn of events that happened prior to the game, right before kickoff, Dez Bryant, receiver for the Baltimore Ravens, got pulled and wasn't allowed to play due to a positive COVID-19 test. He was looking forward to facing his old team in the Cowboys. It didn't happen. And Dez Bryant later took to Twitter and says, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and just sit out the rest of this season. He actually said quit on the rest of the season because he can't deal with this. Look, there's a lot of players that are going through this right now, a lot of situations, a lot of issues, a lot of ups and downs with this COVID-19, man, in the NFL. And in sports, I guess he's had enough of it. But to come out and make a statement like that, after being given an opportunity to play again, after being out for 3 years, I don't know if I would have made that type of statement. But anyway, look, to each his own. I guess Dez Bryant is done for the season. Who knows? His career might be done again. That's it for the NFL. Let's move on. All right, college football rankings are out, and the top 6 teams are the same that it has been for the last 3 weeks. So no change there. But Ohio State got some bad news. They found out that they won't be playing in the Big Ten Championship because they only played 5 games after their match versus Michigan State was canceled due to positive COVID test results on the Michigan State side. The minimum games that needed to be played to qualify was 6. Texas A&M sits at the 5th spot with their game versus Ole Miss postponed a second time. Look, that's tough, because Ohio State probably should be in that game. It's unfortunate. No one's at fault. It is what it is, but that's tough, man. Especially for the seniors, especially for guys that wanted to, go out with a bang, to go out and win a championship in the midst of the COVID-19, pandemic. I can speak to, from experience, because, this is definitely a super, super tough time for these guys. And I can only imagine if my senior year, that the Hawaii Bowl was, we missed a game, or we didn't get to play a game, and we didn't qualify for the Hawaii Bowl or something like that because we needed to play X amount of games, I'd have been sick. So this is what these guys live for. The past 3 years. Maybe this is their 4th year. Maybe this is their 5th year. And they're not able to be in that game. It's heartbreaking, knowing what I went through, knowing what it feels like to play that game, everything you worked for the entire season. Yeah, I feel for these kids, man. And I just hope that there's a bright light on the other side when all these college athletes, not just football, but just, these college athletes, I just hope that there's a bright light on the other side when we all get through this. All right, some good news here. Mayor Caldwell gave his approval to allow for both UH men's and women's basketball season to start. It was announced the University of Hawaii men would face Hawaii Pacific on Friday at 7:05 p.m. at the Stan Sheriff Center. The women will play HPU on Sunday at 5:05 p.m. Both games will be played with no fans in the stands. That was expected. It's possible the early part of the league schedules for the men and women will be affected by this pandemic. Obvious. Nobody is going to want to fly into California, and no one is going to want to fly out of it. Over the next week or so, some big things could break. So stay tuned and pay attention, because we're going to have more from Stephen Tsai in today's Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Stephen Tsai also has a story on the University of Hawaii football team on trying to end the season on a positive. He spoke with Coach Todd Graham, and Coach had to say this, that Sunday starts the 2021 season. They want to start it 1-0 by beating the winless UNLV this weekend. And you also know that UNLV is 0-5, and they're going to be playing hard, trying to achieve their start of their next season with a one-game season, as we like to call it. Every week you want to make it a one-game season, but they're looking to do the same on their side. So look, they also said that it's a lot easier to build with a win than a loss. So we should see some inspired football played on Saturday from both sides. But Coach Graham believes that they have enough talent to compete with anyone in the Mountain West. They just need to eliminate the penalties, right? The turnovers, which I've talked about, those two stats are the number one stats that determines wins and losses, and the big chunk plays on defense. So I know they have a focus, and it is a long off season, but look, it's always a great way to go into the off season with a win. So they're hopeful that they're going to walk out to the Aloha Stadium on Saturday with a 4-4 mark. Good luck, fellas. We're all rooting for you. We're always behind you. And let's definitely finish this season strong. And let's create the momentum going into the offseason, going into next year. This is a statement game, right? There is no tomorrow. There is no next week. Put it all on the field, everything you got, all three phases, offensive, defensive, special teams. Bring your best. That's my advice to the players. This week, bring your best. You're going against an 0-5 team who you should dominate. So go out there, impose your will, and dominate like we all know you can. Good luck. All right, this next story, I'm just going to quickly touch on it. This should never happen in sports, but here it is. A controversy in the UEFA Champions League match yesterday at a PSG v Istanbul BB match. Yeah, I know that was a mouthful. The incident in which a match official allegedly used a racial comment towards Invincible's assistant coach. The players from both teams requested the official to leave, and ultimately both teams decided not to proceed with the match after the incident. There's no place in sports for that, especially with all of this, social injustice and everything that's going on in the world. There's no place for it in sports. And hey, hats off, man. Kudos to both teams for standing up for each other and, making a stand and saying, look, this is bigger than the game. Those issues need to be resolved. And I'm glad that they did what they did. But yeah, there's no place for that in sports. All right, and a area that I've been diving into and I've been loving, surfing. I obviously bodyboard, but yesterday the Pipe Invitational, it's a surf contest, took place at Bonsai Pipeline. Of course, the Pipe Masters and finals are later this week, but it was an unbelievable showing and unbelievable waves for the event yesterday. Joshua Moniz shined above them all, and this is what's awesome about this. He made it out of this qualifying rounds to get into the Pipe Masters final rounds, and his brother Seth Moniz is already qualified for the Masters. So that's epic, man. Brothers could potentially be going after it on a one-on-one basis for the crown. So that's going to be epic. That's going to be unreal. If you guys haven't seen it, man, go look at the highlights. Just unbelievable conditions at Pipeline, and which was closed. Normally they have the beaches open. It's packed like an arena, a sports arena. That's their arena. That's their fan base is on the sand. And unfortunately it was closed due to the pandemic. So, I'm pretty sure it felt a little different to them guys, when they looked back on the beach, not seeing anyone on the sand. But it didn't seem to affect them because them guys are out there catching some unbelievable waves. Good luck to everyone that's in the Pipe Masters coming up here in a day or two. And that is it for the CO2 rundown today. I had a blast going to today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I want to say thank you to our sponsors again, Mercedes-Benz of Honolulu, Windows Hawaii, Hawaiian Telecom, and Lungs Drugs for making this show possible. And I want to thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys on Aloha Friday.